Hey, what's up guys? My name's Liam. I'm the head mechanic here at Worldwide Cyclery. We've been getting a lot more questions to go over some tech tips, so today I'm going to show you how to install the Fox transfer post on this beautiful Yeti SB130. Alright, so these are all the parts that we're going to need to install our Fox dropper post. We have our dropper post, our saddle, dropper remote, our cable, some ferrules, the cable bushing, and the housing I've already installed in the frame. Just make this a little bit faster. Some frames are difficult. This one takes a little bit of manipulating, so I just did it beforehand. And yeah, we're gonna get after it. So, first thing I typically do is install the saddle onto the dropper post. This way we know exactly how long we're gonna need everything. We'll get into that in a bit. Just get this nice and snug to start. And I'm also gonna install our dropper remote right now as well. When you're first installing your remote, you also want to install it with the position you want to use it in mind, as we're going to be sizing the housing specifically to where this remote is sitting. So that's a little bit far back. I'm going to rock it under. We now need to figure out how far in to our frame our post is going to go. All right. So I know my rider's dropper post, or my rider's saddle height is 77 centimeters. So I need to take 77 centimeters, which will be the overall length, put that at the top of the saddle, 77 up there. And then I also need to figure out the length of the seat tube. So the seat tube on this bike is 45.5 centimeters. All right, so 45.5 centimeters, as well as our 77 saddle height. We're gonna look at where 45.5 falls onto our dropper. So you can mark it or just take note of where it's at. It's just above that N right here on the dropper post, so that'll be my marking for it. Now we're gonna measure where the cable housing is gonna go into the frame and how far. So that's about 21, just under 21 centimeters to where we had marked that. So as we slide a dropper post into the frame, this cable is going to go into the frame 21 centimeters. So we want to make the cable flush, as that's where we measured from. So cable flush. Now we're going to get our bend on our cable. So since I know the rider's saddle height, I can make it pretty precise. Things I look for is intersecting with the front tire evenly, a nice bend with the front brake. That already naturally just lines up very nice. So now we're going to mark where this is at on the remote. But from this point, we need to take 21 centimeters off the cable, because as that cable goes into the frame, 21 centimeters, it's also going to expose 21 more centimeters out this way. So right there's our 21 centimeters. Now we're gonna trim this. We're now ready to put on our cable ferrules, one on each end. So now we're ready to grab our dropper cable, as well as the needed Fox cable bushing, or I don't know what you call that, the grommet, it's gonna sit right up in here in this claw. So now that we've pulled this all the way up, it's gonna sit right up in there nicely. And we can just go ahead and drop this through the cable. Pull that all the way through. We can leave it out a little bit because now we're going to connect our dropper post to the cable. The bushing sits in that claw with our cable head right up in there. And one key I always do is keep tension on the cable as well as the housing as we're pushing the dropper into the frame, just to make sure that all stays connected. And as we do that, we can then see, remember we're putting it into where that end was, right here. That was our 21 centimeters. Perfect, the end just went away. We can line this up. Tighten the post down to the recommended frame specs. I'm just gonna snug it up for now. All right. Get your cable in the orientation you want it. I had measured it to go under the brake and shift. Line up with the front brake housing. I always back off the adjuster all the way because we will get some cable stretch. So it's nice to have as much room as possible for that. Thread it through the remote. We're gonna take our 2mm Allen. And we're not gonna cut our cable yet. We're gonna actuate the lever, I would say 10 to 20 times. This is gonna help seat the ferrules onto the cable and get some of that cable stretch out before we even hit the trail. All right, so now you can see we have all this play. That's from the cable, ferrules fully seating, as well as some of the stretch. So we're gonna loosen it back up. So now that that's loose, and pull all of that slack out that we just got. Keep it taut. Oops. We're gonna tighten it back up. Once the cable is tight, we now have no play in that lever. Nice and fast actuation. And we can now test, make sure our dropper works. Perfectly. And now we're ready to cut our cable. I don't know if you can see, but on the bottom side of this lever, there is a little slot for the ferrule to sit in there nicely, so it's all tucked away. And now your Fox transfer post is installed, and we're ready to go hit the trail. Hopefully this video helped you guys out a bit. Now you know how to install a Fox transfer post. Make sure to let us know what tech tips you guys want to see next. Share this video with your friends and subscribe for more mountain bike content.